Hey everyone, welcome back to Experience Coins World, your home for coin collecting, history, and market insights. In today's video, we're diving deep into a fascinating piece of American numismatic history, the 1971 half-dollar coin. If you've got one of these tucked away in a drawer or you've come across one at a coin shop or estate sale, you might be sitting on something more valuable than you think, especially if it's in extra fine condition. So grab a seat, hit that like button, and let's uncover the story, significance, and current dollar value of the 1971 half-dollar. The 1971 half-dollar, also known as the Kennedy half-dollar, carries not only monetary value, but also historical significance. First minted in 1964 to honor President John F. Kennedy after his assassination, the coin replaced the Franklin half-dollar. The 1971 issue marked the turning point. It was the first year the half-dollar was struck without any silver content for circulation coins. Prior to that, from 1965 to 1970, the coin was made of 40% silver. By 1971, the U.S. Mint transitioned to a copper-nickel-clad composition similar to what is used in modern quarters and dimes. This change was driven by rising silver prices and the need to reduce production costs. The obverse of the 1971 half-dollar features a left-facing profile of President John F. Kennedy, sculpted by Gilroy Roberts. On the reverse, you'll find the presidential seal, designed by Frank Gasparo, featuring a heraldic eagle holding arrows and an olive branch, symbols of war and peace. Around the rim, the coin reads United States of America and half-dollar. This design has remained largely unchanged over the decades, making it iconic and instantly recognizable to collectors and casual observers alike. In 1971, the Kennedy half-dollar was struck at two mints for circulation, Philadelphia and Denver. The Philadelphia coins have no mint mark, while the Denver coins are marked with a D just below Kennedy's neck. There were also proof coins struck in San Francisco bearing the S mint mark, though these were not released into general circulation. Collectors are especially interested in certain varieties and errors. Look out for double dies, off-center strikes, or any planchette errors. Those can significantly increase a coin's value. When we talk about a 1971 half-dollar in extra fine XF condition, we're referring to a coin that has seen some circulation, but still retains most of its design details. You'll notice slight wear on high points like Kennedy's cheekbone and hair, but overall, the coin has strong luster and crisp detail. In numismatics, XF usually translates to a grade of XF40 or XF45. Collectors appreciate this condition because it offers a balance between affordability and aesthetic quality, perfect for building a type set. Now, let's talk about value. A 1971 Kennedy half-dollar in circulated condition typically sells for its face value 50 cents. However, in extra fine condition, you're looking at values in the range of $1.50 to $3, depending on the market and whether it's a Philadelphia or Denver mint. If you have one in about uncirculated or mint state, especially MS65 or higher, the value can jump to $10 or more. Proof coins or error varieties can be worth much more, sometimes reaching into the hundreds if they're rare and in high grade. Auction results in 2024 have shown strong interest in high-quality examples, with some coins fetching upwards of $50 or more, especially if graded by. While the 1971 half-dollar isn't made of silver, it holds strong collector interest because of its historical ties and striking design. If you're thinking of investing, look for certified coins in high grade or unique error coins. They offer the best appreciation potential. Avoid clean or damaged coins; those lose collector value quickly. And don't forget to store your coins in a dry, stable environment to prevent corrosion and wear over time. So, is your 1971 Kennedy half-dollar worth a fortune? Probably not, unless it's a rare error or in pristine condition, but even in extra fine shape, it's a desirable piece for any American coin collection. Its historical significance, attractive design, and collector interest make it a coin worth keeping and possibly trading up. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, give us a like. For more coin content. The next up top to today, we're diving into a piece of American numismatic history that's becoming increasingly popular among collectors, the 1970 to Kennedy half dollar. If you've got one of these coins lying around, especially in extra fine condition, you might be holding onto more than just 50 cents. So stay tuned as we explore what makes this coin special, how to identify valuable variants, and what it's worth in today's market. Kennedy half dollar was first issued in 1960 to honor President John F. Kennedy following his assassination. In 1963, the 1972 version, like others minted after 1970 for general circulation, was struck in copper nickel-clad rather than 90% silver. It features the iconic portrait of Kennedy on the obverse, designed by Gilroy Roberts, and the presidential seal on the reverse, designed by Frank Gasparo. While millions were minted, certain conditions and mint marks make some versions of the 1970 to half dollar far more desirable than others. In 1972, the coin was minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia coins have no mint mark, Denver coins have a D, and San Francisco proofs have an S. While none are considered rare in circulated condition, XF and above grades are increasingly valued. Proof versions from San Francisco can command premiums, especially if they are deep cameo or error strike. So what does extra fine really mean? An XF or EF extra fine 40 or 45 grade coin shows only slight wear on the highest points of the design. Most details are still sharp with light friction. For the 1970 to half dollar, look at Kennedy's hair above the ear and on the cheek. If the lines are still defined and not completely worn smooth, your coin may qualify as XF. Coins in this condition are often pulled from circulation and kept safe due to their strong eye appeal and collectible potential. Now, let's talk numbers. As of today, a 1970 to half dollar in extra fine condition generally sells between $1.50 to $5 depending on the demand and seller. That might not sound like much, but that's 3x to 10x its face value. Proof and high-grade uncirculated examples, especially graded by third-party services like PCGS or NGC, can sell for $10, $20, or even higher depending on rarity and condition. And here's where it gets interesting. Error coins and rare varieties, like double die obverses or off-center strikes, can fetch hundreds of dollars or more at auction. The demand for Kennedy half dollars has grown over the years, especially among new collectors. Online auction platforms like eBay, Heritage Auctions, and Great Collections frequently list 1970 to half dollars, and bidding wars often drive prices up when coins are certified or have unique features. For instance, a pristine 197 to D half dollar graded MS67 by PCGS once sold for over $1,000. So always check those mint marks, luster, and overall quality when evaluating your 1970 to half dollar. First, check for mint mark location just above the date on the obverse. Next, examine for die errors, doubled lettering, rotated dies, or even clipped plankets. Finally, assess the overall condition. Is it XF, O, or even MS? XF coins hold a nice balance between affordability and quality, making them appealing for collectors building détaillement sets. If you're thinking of selling a 1970 to half dollar in XF condition, take clear photos under good lighting and show close-ups of key features. Listing on reputable platforms can help you reach the right buyers. For buyers, invest in coins that are graded when possible and beware of clean or damaged coins, which can lower value. The 1970 to half dollar might not be made of silver, but its value in the collector world is definitely shining brighter with time. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just getting started, keeping an eye on these coins, especially in extra fine condition, could pay off. And who knows, you might have a hidden treasure in your pocket change. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, hit that button and comment. The next up, top 3 today, we're diving deep into a fascinating piece of American numismatic history, the 1983 United States half dollar, specifically one in extra fine XF condition. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting out, this is a coin you'll want to pay attention to, not just for its historical value, but for its surprisingly strong presence in today's auction market. Let's begin with some background. The 1983 half dollar features the iconic portrait of John F. Kennedy on the obverse, a tribute to the 35th President of the United States. Designed by Gilroy Roberts, this image has remained on the coin since its first release in 1964. On the reverse, you'll see the presidential seal, designed by Frank Gasparo. Now, here's the twist. Unlike silver Kennedy half dollars from the early 60s, the 1983 edition was struck in a copper nickel-clad composition, meaning no silver content. But that doesn't mean it's not valuable. In fact, it's all about condition, rarity, mint errors, and demand. Coins from this era that are found in circulated condition are pretty common and worth around face value. But the ones in extra fine XF or higher grade, that's where things get interesting. In XF condition, this coin shows light wear on the highest points but retains much of its original detail. Collectors consider this a sweet spot for value, especially when coins are scarce in high grades from this year. But why is 1983 so special? The answer lies in the U.S. Mint's lack of mint sets for the public in 1982 and 1983. That's right, due to budget cuts, no official mint sets were sold in those 2 years, which makes high-grade coins from regular circulation much harder to find today. This scarcity pushes up the demand, especially among collectors trying to complete quality year sets. Now let's talk market value. An average circulated 1983 half dollar may only be worth 50 cents to $1, but one in extra fine condition can fetch anywhere from $3 to $10 depending on the beer. Take it a notch higher if you have an uncirculated or MS63 to MS65 specimen. You're looking at $20 to $100 or more at auction. And here's where it gets really exciting: errors and varieties. Coins with off-center strikes, double die obverses, or clipped plankets from 1983 have sold for hundreds or even thousands of dollars, especially if they're authenticated by grading services like NGC or PCGS. So before you spend that half dollar in your pocket, you might want to take a closer look. It could be worth many times its face value. We're seeing a spike in interest for 1983 coins in general, and the Kennedy half dollar is no exception. Recent auctions show strong activity, especially when coins are slabbed and graded. XF examples are selling fast on platforms like eBay, heritage auctions, and great collections. The key: eye appeal and authenticity. Coins with nice luster, sharp details, and minimal wear catch the attention of collectors who are willing to pay top dollar. Combine that with a low supply of high-grade examples from 1983, and you've got a recipe for value growth. And don't forget, if yours comes from the Philadelphia Mint no mint mark or Denver Mint D mark, that can affect value too. In fact, some XF1983D examples have surprised sellers with auction values over $25, especially when well-struck. So, what should you do if you find a 1983 half dollar in extra fine condition? First, handle it carefully. Use gloves or hold it by the edge. Then, compare it to grading charts or take it to a reputable coin dealer or grading service for evaluation. If it's in great shape, consider listing it for sale at a fixed price. Or even better, put it up for auction and let the collectors bid it up. This is not just pocket change, it's a potential investment, especially as more collectors enter the market and seek out these harder-to-find pieces from the early 80s. The beauty of coin collecting is that it blends history, artistry, and economics, and the 1983 half dollar is a perfect example of that. So, whether you found this coin in a jar at grandma's house, a flea market, or even in change, it might just be a little treasure. Keep your eyes open, stay informed, and remember, the next coin you find might be worth far more than 50 cents. That wraps up today's deep dive into the 1983 half dollar in XF condition. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want more coin stories, grading tips, and market updates, hit that like button. The next up top for today, we're diving into a fascinating piece of American history, the 1776 to 1976 bicentennial Kennedy half dollar. If you've got one of these in your collection or stumbled across it in your change jar, you might be holding onto a small piece of valuable metal. In this video, we'll cover everything from its origin, design, features, and extra fine condition, and most importantly, how much it's worth in today's coin market. Let's get started. The 1776 to 1976 Kennedy half dollar was minted to commemorate 100 years of American independence. It was released as part of the U.S. bicentennial coinage set, along with special editions of the quarter and dollar. Instead of the usual Kennedy design with the date below, this coin bears a dual date, 1776 to 1976, marking the nation's bicentennial celebration. Designed by Seth G. Huntington, the reverse shows Independence Hall in Philadelphia, a powerful symbol of liberty where both the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution were debated and adopted. The obverse features the iconic bust of President John F. Kennedy, designed by Gilroy Roberts. On the reverse, Independence Hall is centered, with the inscriptions United States of America, 200 Years of Freedom, and E Pluribus Unum above and below it. One unique thing about this coin is that it was made in both copper-nickel clad and 40% silver for collectors, depending on where and how it was issued: regular circulation, mint sets, or proof sets. Now let's talk about coin grading. If your 1776 to 1976 half dollar is labeled extra fine or XF, you've got something special. Extra fine condition means there is very light wear on the highest points of the design. Kennedy's hair and facial features are mostly sharp, and the detail on Independence Hall is still crisp. These coins were likely only lightly circulated and have maintained much of their original luster. This is a significant leap from a coin in good or fine condition and boosts its market appeal. Bicentennial half dollar, 15 o'clock to 22 o'clock. So, what's it worth today? A standard copper-nickel 1776 to 1976 half dollar in extra fine condition typically fetches around $1 to $3. But if you have the 40% silver version, especially from an uncirculated or proof set, it can be worth significantly more. As of today's silver prices, these coins can fetch anywhere from $5 to $15 just for their metal content. Collectors may pay even more for pristine coins, especially those graded and flagged by PCGS or NGC, some rare varieties, and high-grade. Coins can go for $30, $50, or more in auction settings. Recent auctions show an upward trend for XF to mint state bicentennial halves. A PCGS graded MS6 Evans Silver bicentennial half sold for over $1,000 not too long ago. Proof versions with deep cameo finish also see strong interest, with values reaching well into the hundreds depending on rarity, toning, and demand. If you're looking to sell, auction platforms like eBay, Heritage Auctions, or even local coin shows can help you get top dollar. If you're collecting, always look for clear detail, minimal wear, and original luster. Store your coins properly to prevent damage, and consider getting high-value coins certified. Even if you only have the copper-nickel version, it's still a great piece of American history that could increase in value as it ages. Don't clean your coins, it might reduce their value. That wraps up our deep dive into the 1776 to 1976 Kennedy bicentennial half dollar. Whether you're a collector, investor, or just curious about your pocket change, this coin is a reminder of America's enduring legacy. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and drop a comment. The next up top 5 today, we're diving deep into one of the most talked about coins of recent times, the 2023 United States half dollar. This seemingly common piece of modern currency is turning heads in the numismatic community, especially in extra fine condition or better. If you have one of these coins lying around, don't underestimate it. It might be worth far more than just 50 cents. So grab your coin collection, sit back, and let's explore the hidden value of the 2023 half dollar in today's collector mark. First, let's talk about the history and design. The U.S. half dollar, also known as the Kennedy half dollar, has been in circulation since 1964. It was originally minted to honor President John F. Kennedy following his assassination in 1963. Fast forward to 2023, and the coin still carries the iconic portrait of Kennedy on the obverse, designed by Gilroy Roberts, with the reverse side showing the presidential seal by Frank Gasparro. Though not used in everyday transactions as much anymore, these coins are still struck for collectors, and that's where things get interesting. The 2023 Kennedy half dollar wasn't released into general circulation by the U.S. Mint, but rather sold in collector sets, rolls, and bags. These were minted in Philadelphia and Denver, with each mint producing a limited number, fewer than in many previous years. Because of this low mintage and controlled release, these coins are already gaining traction among collectors and circulated, and extra fine XF specimens are especially in demand. Even though the coin is relatively new, scarcity and condition are key players when it comes to value. Now let's clarify what extra fine condition means in coin grading. An extra fine XF or EF grade refers to a coin that has seen only light circulation. The high points of the design show some wear, but most of the details remain sharp and clean. The luster might be slightly dulled, but overall, the coin retains excellent eye appeal. In the case of the 2023 half dollar, collectors are especially interested in XF or better grades because they represent well-preserved examples in an already limited pool of coins. So, what's the buzz in the market right now? In online auctions, local coin shows, and collector forums, 2023 half dollars in XF condition have been selling for $3 to $7 each, and sometimes even more depending on the mint mark and the demand. That's up to 14 times the face value, and we're only a couple of years out from the minting date. In near mint or uncirculated condition, these coins are reaching prices of $10 to $15 or higher, especially if they're still in original mint packaging. Proof versions, which were sold in special sets, can fetch even more, depending on rarity and toning. Why is this coin gaining value so quickly? A few factors come into play. First, the lower mintage numbers, fewer coins naturally mean more competition. Second, the declining use of half dollars in circulation makes modern issues seem more like collector pieces than spendable currency. And finally, the rising interest in modern coin collecting, especially from younger and international audiences, is driving up demand. Coins that were once overlooked are now being reevaluated and appreciated for their historical and design significance. If you think you have a 2023 half dollar in extra fine condition, here's how you can check. Use a magnifying glass and examine the hairlines on Kennedy's head. Are the strands still visible? Look at the eagle's wings and feathers on the reverse. Can you see sharp detail, or is it worn smooth? If most of the design elements remain intact with only light surface wear, congratulations, you might have an XF coin. For a professional grade, consider submitting your coin to the leading third-party grading companies. If you're interested in selling, platforms like eBay, heritage auctions, and even Facebook coin groups are good places to test the market. Be honest about the coin's condition and include clear photos. For those holding onto their coin for future value, make sure you store it properly in a dry, cool environment, ideally in a coin flip, capsule, or album to prevent tarnishing. And where so? Well, the 2023 half dollar might seem like just another modern coin. It's already proving to be a sleeper hit in the collecting world. Especially in extra fine or better condition, its value is significantly above face, and the trend shows no signs of slowing down. Whether you're a casual collector or a serious investor, keeping an eye on coins like this could pay off big in the years ahead. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more in-depth looks at coins from the US and around the world. Drop a comment below if you have a 2023 half dollar or if you've seen one selling at a high price. We'd love to hear your story. And remember, every coin has a story, and sometimes hidden treasure lies just beneath the